Hello everybody, Shalom and happy holiday, Chag Sameach, the holiday of Tu BShvat. Tu in Hebrew means Tet and Vav, meaning 15. Shvat is the name of the month. And we know the name of the month, Shvat, is Shiyu Besorot Tovot. Let it be a great and good news. Tonight is a holiday. And basically we learn it from the section in the Talmud, Masechet Rosh Hashanah, that Bet Shammai saying, the house of Shammai say that tonight is basically not a holiday because Bet Shammai say it's Rosh Chodesh Shvat. When we are blessing the Perot HaIlan, we're blessing the fruit of the trees, not trees, one tree, single tree. And Hillel said that we are doing it tonight. The question is, why we're following Hillel? We know that there is a very famous story about a convert that tried to convert to become Jewish and come to Shammai and say, please teach me your old Torah while I'm standing in one leg, meaning short version of your old Torah. Shammai opened the door and threw him out of the house. When he came to Hillel, he asked him the same thing, can I study the Torah from you when I'm standing in one leg, meaning in a very short time? He said, sure. I want you to practice to love your neighbor as you love yourself. Or don't do to others what you don't want them to do to you. If you can do that, say Hillel, slowly you will understand the Torah. And of course we have to go into the meaning of what is the idea that we are listening to Hillel and we're not listening to Shammai when it's come to Tu BShvat. Because we know there is different type of Rosh Hashanah. Tonight is Rosh Hashanah for the tree, single tree, not trees, one tree, single tree, Ilan. So why this is the only Rosh Hashanah, this is the only kind of happy new year to the tree that happening in the middle, which is a full moon, and why we follow Hillel? Well, the idea is like that. If we look at our spirituality, it's written, Ki Adam Etz HaSadeh, that the human being is like a tree. Okay? We are very similar to a tree. We want to grow. We're going against our nature. We go against our gravity. We are sometimes tough on ourselves. Sometimes we're too nice to ourselves. You know, we are a tree. We need the nourishment. We need the water. We need the sun. We need everything. And we need to keep growing against gravity. Because if you look at the tree, also the tree growing against gravity. And that's really the whole point. So when we're thinking about the idea of listening to Hillel, Hillel said the growth of a person takes time. It's going to start slowly, and then eventually achieve the goal. Shammai say you either ready or you either don't need to do it at all. That's not the way that God wants to be the Torah. God wants to be the Torah. Yes, you have to be harsh on yourself and tough on yourself to do it, but at the same time, you have to make sure that you do it with excitement and happiness while you're loving the neighbor as you love yourself. The tree is about growth. It represents growth. But the growth doesn't happen overnight. You don't plant the seed of an avocado and the next morning you eat an avocado. Did it ever happen in nature? Yes, it did. And I'm sure you're familiar with the story. When Noah came out of the ark after the flood, if you remember, Noah planted the seed of a grape, or he took a vineyard and he put it into the trees, and the next morning, Baruch Hashem, it was a bottle of wine. How can that be? Well, that was in the time of Noah. Or the second time it happened is when Adam and Eve. Adam, if you remember, Adam prayed on Friday that the tree will grow from the ground, and the tree grew up from the ground. The question, why the tree was not exist from Tuesday? Because God created the tree on Tuesday. And it say, Vayar Elokim ki tov. God say, so how great it was. But the truth of the matter is, the tree never came out of the ground. It was potentially there, but it needed the prayer of Adam HaRishon, Adam, to grow that tree. And we need to understand that specific thing. So Tosfot, which is a commentary on the Talmud, Kli Yakar, which is commentary on the Torah, and Ben Ishchai was a commentary on the Torah, on and Minagim. So I'm bringing to you different angle. Bnei Yissaschar, another commentary on holidays. they all agree that in a way the tree had an ego at that point. So when God said to the tree and the bushes to grow, they were in the ground potentially, and they waited for Adam Arishon, Adam, to do the prey, and through that they will grow. Meaning the tree didn't behave according to what his maker did with it. And for that reason, when the snake, the serpent, seduced Eve to go after the tree of knowledge is it written, Perotav ve'etzo enam shavim, meaning the flavor of the fruit and the tree wasn't equal. Now you need to remember, all the tree that God created, the tree and the fruit tasted the same. After the sin, of course, it's not as it was before. But I'm talking about before the sin of Adam and Eve, before eating from the tree of knowledge, before the seduction of the snake. All of it was equal. Now, the idea of that sin of the tree, and because of that Eve ate from it with the seduction of the snake, and of course the snake represents the evil, he knew what to go for, he went for the food. He right away went for the food because he knew that if the fruit has a little ego, that means that ego can pass on to a pure human being called Eve, and she passed it on to her husband, pure husband that she had, Adam, and if she poisoned him with the tree, snake poisoned her with the tree poisoned because of the ego, we have a big scrambled eggs mixing of sin and confusion around us. And for that reason, every time that the holiday of Tu BShvat is coming, we need to be excited. Why? Because according to the Ari, according to Rabbi Chaim Vital more specific, because there is no mention about this holiday according to Rabbi Isaac Luria. The one place it's mentioned, it's called Tu BShvat Keminhag Ashkenazim. According to the Ashkenaz tradition, that's what they do. But we know that Sephardic did it too. I mean, Persian, my friend, or Persian, they do it all year long. They eating dry fruit. They don't just do it now, all the time. But it needs to be clear and understood that when you say Chag LaIlan, the holiday of the tree, single tree, Ilan stands for 91. 91 stands for Yud Kevavke Tachigabeten, the name of God in the male energy, together with the female name of God, Adonai. Together is 91. To tell us what we're doing tonight, we are creating a union between the female aspect of God, Shekhinah, to the male aspect of God, and that's what's exciting. And through that, we're fixing our part within Adam and Eve that did wrong in the Garden of Eden. How exciting that need to be. And for that reason, we need to have all technology of how to go about it. And here we go about the technology. It's written in the Torah that the land of Israel, Eretz Israel, ishtabcha beperotea. The land of Israel was known to be blessed with the fruit. If you look at the way God talked about Eretz Israel, about the land of Israel, he always mentioned the fruit and the food coming from the land. Why? Because the land of Eretz Israel is mamash malchut, those of you who understand Kabbalah, and for malchut only can grow things which go against the malchus, against the gravity. And when the fruit are unbelievably amazing, and this year I have the privilege to go to Elat market, God bless them, they have a date from Eretz Israel, from Israel. I was very excited to go and buy. It gets me really, really excited to get something from Israel, wine from Eretz Israel. So different things that I can show you what you can do tonight. And unfortunately with the COVID, we cannot do it together. That will be soon my privilege if I can do it with everybody together. So it will be no mistake and all of us will do well. We have 7 things that Israel was blessed with. One is called wheat, chita. Second is barley, okay, seorah. Will be wise of you to buy a cookie, very simple cookie, or to cook barley in the pot. There will be the barley, okay. The blessing, if you don't know, please text us and ask us. The blessing for this is mezonot, okay. When you eat the cookie, mezonot for the barley. Then you have, and remember, the 7 are standing for the 7 sefirot, chesed, gvura, tiferet, netzach, od, yesod, malchut. And hopefully next year, Bli Neder, we will have maybe a small booklet for you so you know what you're doing. And I think we can work on that. It's not a big deal. So you have the first chita, wheat, is chesed. Se'ora is more rough. Barley is usually considered an animal food. Like they give it to the cow, the horses. That's the barley. The barley is more strength in it, more sivi, more fiber. It's different than the wheat. The wheat is more sweet. And the wheat is chesed, meaning chasadim, giving, charity, generosity. Se'ora is gvura. Se'ora meaning barley is more gvura. So you meditate, gvura. Then you go, chita se'ora, gefen. Gefen means grapes. Okay? I have it with me. So what I do every year, I buy 2 types of grapes, which is, one is white, one is red. If you can find another color, buy another color. It's all good. More you do tonight fancy, more blessing you're going to have for your sustenance and for your health. So as much as you can put your table, that's define how great your year will be from the point of sustenance and the point of everything that you guys have. It's very, very important. Now, so this is tiferet, the balance, the exact balance. So it's chita, se'ora, gefen, te'ena, verimon. Te'ena means fig. So it's not the season for fresh fig, so you buy dry fig. Most people don't eat dry fig anymore because of the worry of worm within it. And it will be wise that you don't eat it, you open it, and don't eat it if there is a worm. But at least you brought it to your table, so it will be there. And this is the fig. Rimon. Rimon means pomegranate. I'm sorry. First fig is netzach, and rimon is hod. So rimon is basically, it looks like that. Those of you who don't know what rimon is a pomegranate. Okay? Pomegranate, it looks like this, the shell. Okay, Debbie just peeled it. And then you eat inside. I know some of you are still traditionally looking if there is 613 seed. I'm going to take you to one of the rabbis in Tel Aviv. His name is Rabbi Ashkenazi, he's Chabandik. Somebody asked Baal Shem Tov that question. He said, I count the seed and the rimon and the pomegranate, and it was not 613. It was, 488. So the Baal Shem Tov said to him, I think it's Kugel, time 2. And everybody said, Kugel, time 2, is it, what's the connection? And the Baal Shem Tov tried to explain to him, it's not about looking for the details of how many numbers. It's meaning that your mitzvot, your good doing, will be as many seeds that there is in a pomegranate. So the pomegranate is odd. Now we come into Yesod. What will Yesod will be? What fruit has so much benefit in it? And it's also a fruit, but it's also give you more power, whatever in it. What is it? Great answer. Olive. So I went and I bought 2 kinds of olive, kosher of course. If you find more type of olive, more olive, and those of you who didn't find it tonight, you can do it tomorrow morning. You can do it all day tomorrow and do it with the olive. The olive is yesod. What is yesod? Yesod is actually a solid thing. It's a strong thing, but it's passing on to malchut. Very good. It's passing it on to the malchut. But that's why the olive oil comes from the olive. Very important. That's yesod. And then we come to tamar. We come to the date, and very simple. The date, small, big, doesn't matter what it is. The date itself, it's called tamar, which is malchut, tamar, tamamrirut. The bitterness of our life come to an end. That's why you eat it as a malchut. Now, of course, it will be wise if you can have a fruit which is new. We use, for the new fruit, we use etrog. Debbie was very kind to me this year. She made me a jam from etrog, that's citrog. Why etrog tonight? Well, it's written in Rabbi Buna Mifishitzcha, Yehudi HaKadosh. It's written by many Mekubalim, specifically the Ben Ish Chai, that it's a big deal if you can find etrog that was from the time of Sukkot, and you eat the jam. And when you eat it, for women who cannot have children, for people who cannot find a way to make money, or for people who stuck. Why? But why etrog? Why this specific fruit? I mean, after all, this here I have kimano. Kiwano. Kimano is this fruit. Dragon fruit of kimano. I have no idea what it is, by the way. Kimano. Kimano Hashem, maybe. So we have this fruit, that it's new. And when you have a new fruit, you do shechianu. You do a special blessing as you get excited to eat it for the first time. I do usually shechianu as many as I can do, but the etrog will be first. Why? Let's go back to the Garden of Eden. It was one tree who listened to God. You know what tree was it? The tree of the etrog. The tree of the etrog acted exactly as God wanted to act. So for that reason, when you eat from the etrog on Tu BShvat, you are connected to the original seed of the one tree with no ego, and through that, your body and your soul will get an elevation. That's how powerful it is. By the way, those of you who get from us a little bit of the jam, please keep it all year for any problem that you might go through, and eat a little bit from that during the year. It's a very big segula to have it. Those of you who have the lechaim that come from the etrog is also segula. Also, segula means it's a special blessing. It's a magical blessing in it that you gotta use. Now, so that's about the pri chadash. That's about the new fruit. Now, we have another thing, the type of the fruit you're dealing with. Well, there is fruit that you need to peel them to eat the fruit. There is fruit that you eat the outside, and then inside is the seed, you don't eat it. And there's fruit that you eat the entire thing, like fig. Okay, fig, you eat the whole thing. So when you talk about fig, you're eating everything. So every fruit is corresponding to what we call olamot. Olamot mean universe. There is in Kabbalah, there is 4 universes. One level is called the world of action, asiyah, the world of formation, yetzirah, the word of creation, bria, and the word of atzilut, emanation, is olam atzilut. So, when you need to build with almond, with pistachio, with different type of fruit that you need to peel them, pomegranate, that will be the fruit. You need to peel to eat the inside. That's you're dealing with olam asiyah, dealing with the world of action. You're peeling it, and then you have the fruit. Okay? When you are eating a fruit, which the seed is inside, Olam Yetzirah is in the world of formation. When you eat the whole fruit, Baruch Hashem, then you deal it with Olam Bria, the world of creation. What about Atzilut? In Atzilut, there is no physicality. So you're breathing, you drink water, that's in the level of Atzilut. There's another tradition. As you can see on my table, we have a red wine, and we have a white wine. What are we doing with that tonight? Well, the wine, you're going to have a 4 cup, like Passover. You don't have to do it, by the way, this is not a must. Everything is a tradition, everything is beautiful. You don't have to follow it. So, the first cup will be only red wine. What olam is it? Excellent, asiyah, the word of action. The second cup will be half and half. What word will be? Great, the word of formation. The third cup will be 2/3 of white, 1/3 of red. That will be Olam Bria, the world of creation. And the fourth cup, whatever you want to do it or don't, because it's Atzilut, it's emanation. Traditionally, they turn it into only white wine and represent Olam Atzilut, which is only white, only light, so the world of emanation. Of course, there is many tradition of what everything means. And you can make it up to you, whatever you think it is. But the most important is that you are truly connect into the idea that you are changing your inner self, your external, your society, whoever is around you, your health, your well-being. Everything about you can be changed tonight. Tonight is a very, very powerful night and very easy. But remember, when you eat, when you chew the food, another thing to meditate on, the chewing of the food is removal of the dinim, removal of the judgment from the world of action, the world of formation, the world of creation, and the world of Atzilut. So no klipot will ever able to touch you again, Bezrat Hashem. I recommend, before you do that, the seder of tonight, wash your hand, clean yourself, take a shower if needed, dress a nice shirt, and get ready for it, and put a nice table, like a table, a cloth, nice, and put some glasses, And after you do the seder of the perot and all this that, then you can go and wash again and do a motzi to do a whole seudah for this night. Those of you who cannot do it tonight can do it tomorrow. Those of you who want to do it tonight and tomorrow, allowed to do it as well. I want to wish you Chag Sameach, happy holiday. I love you very much, and you should love yourself very much as well. And let's celebrate it tonight, just with a lot of good news for all of us. Thank you.